Well, good afternoon and welcome once again to Ed's Orchids. Now this plant I have in front of you is a Paphiopedilum philippinense, and as you can see it's got the two lower leaves aren't too good, but I'm not particularly bothered about that. But it's been in the pot for a bit now, so I want to just have a good look at it. Have a look at the roots. It's in a 2-litre pot, you know, the long pots that I use for the frags. And I think it's sort of a couple of years ago somebody said to me, why don't you try the frags in the long pots? So this is the one I tried, and I think it's been in the pot ever since. So we'll just have a look at that one. And as you know, these philippinense, they come from the Guimaras Islands, the Philippines, North Borneo, and they're generally found growing as epiphytic plants on trees or terrestrially on leaf mulch on the forest floor. They like bright light, but it isn't advisable to give them any sunshine, you know, for the sake of burning the leaves. Although when they do import philippinenses from the wild, the leaves are absolutely shocking, burnt to smithereens. They like summer temperatures from about 19 centigrade up to 29 centigrade, and winter temperatures from say 14 C or up to 23 C. And all these can be variable to within a few degrees, and they can get between 5 foot and 12 foot of rain each year. It's not advisable to let these dry out completely. They're mostly a medium-sized plant, but can get large when in perfect cultural conditions. Now in southern regions, which get more daylight than in northern areas, it can be fairly easy to bring it into bloom. But in northern areas you'll have to make provisions to give it more light if you want to get them to bloom. Now these plants aren't particularly fussy which substrate you use, and it does to a large extent tolerate poor conditions. It'll only tolerate that for a while until you see deterioration taking place. So it's better to keep them in good condition, or you know, the compost in good condition. Now the thing about these plants is that they have a tendency, when they have new growths, not to provide the new growth with roots for at least a year or two. You know, so if you've got a big growth plant, make sure that the new growths have got roots on before you decide to split them. Now, like all plants, they need to be kept damp and not sopping wet through. Having said that, this was put on a drip system for 3 or 4 months last year, and it seems to tolerate the conditions I was giving it very well. So I wonder what I can expect when I unpot this one. But we'll just keep talking for a moment, and then I'll unpot it. Now for potting, although I said it's not fussy about the conditions, I like to plant them in a medium size board, which is between about 1/2 and 3/4 inch. Now you can see that this plant has got excessive burn on the two leaves, and I don't know whether it's burn or what it is, but this can be caused by sunshine, which this plant doesn't get, so we can count that one out. It can be caused by overwatering, where these two leaves cannot absorb any more moisture, you know, or they can't assimilate any more moisture and get rid of it, so they die off. Or it could be caused by fertilizer burn. Water and some potting mixes will contain salts, which will stick to the roots. It will stick to the potting medium, and it will also stick to the pots, especially if you're using the terracotta ones. These terracotta ones will easily absorb as much salts as you can give it, This is why you can see stains on the outside of terracotta pots in garden centres and all over the place. It's just caused by the salts. You know, if you build some new houses sometimes and there's a lot of calcium in the bricks that they use, they get a lot of white on the bricks, you know, after a week or two. So the only thing we can try to get rid of these salts is to flush, and the flush containing Epsom salts will bind itself to the salts and try and remove them. Now when I feed my paphs, or any other paph for that, or any other orchid for that matter, I always flush the same day as they are fed. A feed and a flush the same day has a very positive effect on the plants, and if you can flush and then flush again, which is called leaching, it will be even better. Although you can understand that time factors will play a big role for this type of watering. Anyhow, that's about all I can say for this plant. So let's take it out of its pot and have a good look, see what the roots look like. And let's hope the bad leaves aren't something to do with the roots. We'll just take the hangers off because I have it hung up high in the greenhouse. I'm not knowing what to expect here, especially with it being in a deep pot. There we are, Paphiopedilum philippinense. Now let's have a look at it. Oh, it's tight. Come on. Come on. Well, I can't see any new growing tips on it yet. But the roots don't look too bad. Just look at that, none of them stuck. Oh, just a little bit stuck here. Let's get the roots and have a look at that. Let's get the camera and have a look. Here's the plant with the bad leaves here, just the two lower ones. But look at the roots. Grown in that deep pot, they've gone straight down. And they're all very hard, not a bad root among them. And I can't see any growing tips, and the heat has just come on. So what we'll do, we'll put it in some fresh bark, this, and we'll pot it up again. But first I think I'll take these two bottom leaves off. Now you can either take the leaf off, or you can cut all the bud out, like that. And then to seal this, a lot of people use cinnamon, I use dragon's blood, or you can use wood glue. Wood glue will seal it just as well, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to remove the leaves completely. Should snap off. Yep, that one's off. Put the scissors down and just pull this one. Yep, and that one's off. Now what I will do here is I will put dragon's blood just round the bottom, just in case. No real scientific reason why, but I'll just put some dragon's blood around the bottom there. Might stain the plant there a bit, but it'll do it more harm than more good than harm. Nearly said the wrong thing then, didn't I? There we are. Well, I've got some new bark here with some added growth stones and, added perlite. So I'll continue to pot it up in the pot it came out of. Well, that's all there is to do with this philippinense. So the only thing I've got to do, as I said, I've got to water it and put it back in its place. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much to all my subscribers. Thank you to all the people who comment on my channel. And until next time, I'll see you all later. Bye.